my name is Rochelle, and thank you for watching PazoForJesus.com. Joining us today is former NFL player Mr. Alvin Powell. Today, Alvin is the director of the Saving Station Foundation, a non-profit organization dedicated to the elimination and prevention of drug substance abuse. Thank you for being with us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So you've had a pretty rock and roll life.
Oh, every second of it.
Would you mind telling us a bit about your childhood?
My childhood was started back in the Republic of Panama. I am one of 4 children. I grew up in paradise. I love it. It was just amazing. We had beaches on either side of our country, only a 45-minute drive away. And it was just absolutely paradise. There were times that we woke up in the morning and we'd see Reese monkeys and multicolored birds, parrots, you know, and all kinds of wonders. And for a child, it was just amazing to go through the jungles and just there was always something to do, something to see in our country. And it's still that way today.
And what kind of child were you?
I was the demon child.
Yeah.
The child that was always getting in trouble. That was me, you know. I was like, Alvin this, Alvin that, you know, and why can't you be like your 2 brothers? You know, that was the kind of thing that was going on in the household. For whatever reason, I was that kid that just chose the rocky path, you know. If my mother told me to go right, I'd just go left, you know. That's just the way it was. And I had a lot of challenges growing up. I was learning disabled, and you know, I had problems controlling my emotions, and you know, they tried to put me on Ritalin even back in those days. And my mother says, he has extra energy, fine, we're going to put him in sports. And I excelled in sports, and pretty much excelled in criminal activities along with that too. So.
What kind of criminal activities?
I would borrow things a lot. That's how you can describe that, you know. And that was cool, you know. I mean, it was quite challenging for my parents, and it got to the point where, you know, my father was kind of ordered to take me. My father's a military man; he was in the Army, and he was ordered to take me to Walter Reed Hospital in Washington, D.C. to have me tested, because it was just quite, you know, people were quite amazed at the record that I accumulated by the age of 13. You know, like I was always in trouble. I don't know. Trouble felt comfortable after a while, you know. So that was that. And my father took me to Washington, D.C., and I was tested, and it was determined that I had above average intelligence. But the lack of my dad being around was what profoundly affected me more than anything else. My father was a man that would, you know, he was in Vietnam. He did 2 tours in Vietnam. He was in Korea, and he was always out of the house. And that affected me as a kid. That was one of the things. And along with some of the disabilities, my inability to focus, that was also a thing that they had determined. But you know, so what? You know, what we're gonna do? So we went traveling around, and we came to North Carolina, and that's where I discovered that I was a black man, a black kid. It's like, you're black. You know, they were like, nigger this, honky that, and I was like, what in the world? You know, and I told my dad, I said, I can't believe these people. And I said, you got to send me back to my country, and that was music to his ears.
How did you get introduced to drugs?
It was in my 3rd year of university where I was introduced to marijuana and alcohol by a line. I was pledging a fraternity, so a line brother introduced me to pot, and I loved it right off the bat. It was just an amazing feeling, and it just took from there.
And what made you keep on taking them and going forward and forward in your
in my drug use? Well, drugs are great. They are. They give you an absolutely fantastic feeling. They'll deteriorate your life and destroy your life eventually, and then you'll die, no doubt about that. But the danger with drugs is that you will fall in love with them, and that love affair is what's going to kill you. And so, you know, I teach that to children today, that yes, drugs are great. Anyone that tells a child that drugs are bad, you know, they really are so far off the mark. They have no understanding of the reality of what drugs can do to children, you know. And the reason I continued to take drugs was because they were great. They did something for me. They gave me an amazing feeling, I was able to deal with pain, anger, all these issues that were in me from I was a child. They would go away for just a time, and that was comforting in itself. And the drugs would just, give me that peace, make me not think about it. And in back when I was in pros, my first pro football team, one of my teammates introduced me to crack cocaine, and that's when it really got bad. And 3 years after that, I was a full-blown crack cocaine addict, and by this time I was playing in the NFL with the Seattle Seahawks, and it just evolved into a living nightmare.
Mm-hmm. And what was your turning point to decide, I'm not going to do this anymore, and turn your life around? What gave you that strength?
Actually, it didn't go down that way for me. Drugs beat me down. I gave up on life. I wanted to die. I could not face the fact that I'd lost everything. My wife, my kids, my status, everything was gone, and it had robbed me of everything. And I ended up here in Montreal with the sole purpose of taking my life. And it was just through the grace of God that at the point of that I was going to take my life.
And do you think your faith helped you get out of your problem?
Everyone was praying for me. They knew that I had a severe drug problem, and I think I was on every prayer list in churches all over the country. Teammates, coaches, Christians that I had met through my professional career knew that I was suffering, and suffering badly. And they lifted me up in prayer, and that prayer moved the hand of God. And God protected me, because there are situations, I could give you stories after stories after stories where, there were shootings and people getting killed, and my life was spared on numerous occasions where I could not say that it was just luck. It was quite evident that someone was protecting me. And I really believe that was the prayers of my family and friends.
How do you sustain your faith today?
Well, the way I guess you're supposed to. I'm involved in my church. I'm very active in my church. I just don't go to church and sit in the pews. Mm-hmm. I take the children to the movies. We do things together. We have cell groups that I'm involved in. We have prayer meetings that we have.
And have you ever witnessed any miracles?
Oh man, my life is nothing but a testimony of God's grace. Miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle. I came into the program of recovery in 1993. I was here in Montreal illegally. I went from nothing, from living on the streets. I would panhandle in front of the Cotonez Metro and live in the laundry rooms on Barclay and Goyer streets in Montreal, to break into the laundry rooms because it was the only place that was warm. And I went from that situation to having my own foundation. Went from a crack addict to literally thousands of families bringing me their children, their number one resource, to my office for me to intervene and have a hand in helping save that child's life. I'm quite amazed every day. It's like, wow, wow, wow. And who would have thought, that me, a crack addict, would be, responsible, if you could use that word, or put in a position where I am handling people's number one resource, their children, and it's an amazing, amazing place to be in, but it's all due to God.
Well, thank you. Would you mind, before we leave, just telling us a bit about the Saving Station Foundation and how we can donate and help?
Yes, SavingStationFoundation.com. You can get on your computers. I'm not really a computer buff, but you get on the computers and it's SavingStationFoundation.com, and right on there they'll tell you how you could donate to the foundation. And we need you guys to come on board. Let's get these kids this powerful message so that they can turn their lives around and be a source of strength and power in the kingdom of God.
Well, thank you very much, Alvin. Thank you for watching us at home. Please keep on viewing patsoforjesus.com. Have a nice day.